guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, I'm Mary. An extra warm welcome to you. Grab a snack, stay for a while, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So for today's video, I am going to be doing my makeup, mainly my base. That's where I'm going to be focusing on the most, like some of my favorite YouTubers. Now, I am in no way, shape, or form doing this video to shade anyone. I am just mainly doing this video to show you that just because your favorite influencer does something a certain way, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work 100% for you. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, when you see one of your favorite YouTubers doing, you know, some technique and you look at them and you're like, wow, that looks amazing. Maybe instead of copying it exactly 100%, maybe you try it out and see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, kind of make your own tweaks to it so that it does work for you. So yes, some of our favorite beauty influencers and YouTubers have lots of great tips that work for them. At the end of the day, you need to figure out how you can use that tip to your advantage and not just the way that they're telling you to do it. I hope that makes sense. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is foundation. I think I have definitely mentioned it more than a couple of times here on my channel. When I go in with my foundation, I don't like to pump out a lot of amount of foundation because I like to build my foundation up. I just feel, for me personally, that's just how it works best. Well, a lot of the YouTubers that I follow, not a lot of them, but a good amount of them, right off the bat, pump out 1 to 2 pumps of foundation. Now for me, that seems a little extreme. So I'm going to pump out let's do a pump and a half. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is a lot of foundation. Okay. I don't know how this is all going to fit in my face. I mean, that was, oh my gosh, that was a lot. That was, okay, Mary, don't freak out. Don't freak out. So if I end up looking like a cake face today, this is why. By the way, I'm using my Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation. I love it. It is one of my favorite drugstore foundations. Okay, so it's all blended in. Let me bring you in closer. So for sure, I definitely feel like I have way too much foundation on my forehead. And everything else looks okay. Like, even though I have a tiny bit more foundation than I would normally put on, I still feel like it looks okay. I definitely think that the fact that I'm using a very good foundation has a lot to do with that. But I definitely feel like my forehead has way too much foundation on it. And yeah. All right. Next comes concealer. As you all know, beauty YouTubers and beauty influencers love their concealer. So what I typically see from a couple of my favorite YouTubers is they go like this. Don't worry, I am going to mix a little bit of my darker one on here. Oh my gosh. And they also go down the nose, and they also go here, and like here, and here. This is a lot of concealer. This is too much concealer, by the way. If you are curious, I'm using the Kylie Cosmetics concealer. All right, so let's see if we can blend this out without changing my whole foundation. Now, a lot of the YouTubers that I watch say they do it particularly this way because they like to brighten the center of their face, but I just feel like this is too much. I don't even know where all of this concealer is going to go. I mean, that's a lot of concealer. They also put concealer on their eyes, which you guys know I don't do that. Alright, so this is what the face is looking like so far. Let me bring you in closer. So I definitely feel like I have way too much concealer, and I feel like it's accentuating a lot, like my under eyes. I don't know, I look like I have a shit ton of makeup. My forehead too. Yeah, I mean, it's too much. It's too much. I'm definitely in that mindset right now where less is more, and this just no longer appeals to me. Okay, next is contour. If you are one of those people that likes to contour, I like to contour, and I usually do it with cream before I go in with my powder bronzer. I just feel like it makes it look a little more natural. I think the number one mistake that a lot of people do with contour is that they follow what other people do instead of figuring out what works for them. So what I typically see is they go and make a line here and here. Because you are wondering, I'm using the Milk Makeup. It's a bronzer stick, but this color is very cool toned, so I use it as a contour. They go here, here, here. I have a very small forehead, so I don't usually contour up there. Here, here, and go all the way down. Here. And I'm gonna get a thinner brush. Well, I might be able to do it with this one. Okay, so this is what I typically see most YouTubers do when they contour. So let me blend it out. All right, so this is what the contour looks like. I have a small forehead, so this definitely makes my forehead even smaller. I also have a round face, so I typically like to leave this bare, and I don't, at least I stopped putting contour or bronzer there because it just kind of makes my eyes look more lifted. This no longer appeals to me. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying for me personally, it no longer works. All right, now comes powder. Now I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a really long time. I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild translucent powder, and I'm going to bake under my eyes. So there we go, that's a lot of product. I already went ahead and took my brush and blended away any lines that I already had underneath because of all the concealer I have under my eye. And I'm just gonna lay this powder down and I'm gonna bake like there's no tomorrow. Alright, I'll go ahead and powder the rest of my face. I got translucent powder all over my sweatshirt. Alright, I baked for about 2 minutes, so now I'm going to sweep the product off. This is the Morphe M500. Alright, so this is what the face looks like. With all the lights, it probably looks okay, but if I bring you in closer, you're going to see how dry my skin looks. Do you see it? Maybe if I turn off the lights. I don't know, I just feel like my skin just looks very dry. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. Yeah, like my under eyes, I'm not happy with. My forehead, I am definitely not happy with. Okay, next is bronzer, and I think I have definitely mentioned this before. With bronzer, I don't understand how some of the YouTubers that I watch can use such a big brush for their bronzer. So I'll be using the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH02. This is how big this thing is. Like, look at that. I'm going to be going in with my Hourglass. This is the Luminous Bronze Light Bronzer. Okay. For me, it's too big. It is way too big. I can't be super precise, you know, and it's too much. It is too much. Too much and too big of a brush for bronzing. Forehead, make my forehead non-existent at all because it's already small as it is, you know. So let's just make it disappear like a magic trick. By the way, this makeup is coming right off when I'm done. Okay, so bronzer is on. I'm just going to blend the edges, I guess. Make sure it looks blended. I mean, for me personally, that brush is just too big. I mean, you can't be precise. You cannot control 100% where everything is going. That brush is just too big. Also, look at the concealer on my eyes. See that creasing that's going on? That does not happen with primer. Alright guys, I went ahead and did my eyes off camera. I literally just did something super quick. Next thing is blush. Now with blush, it's tricky because, again, everyone's face shape is different, and something that works for one YouTuber doesn't mean it necessarily works for another. We are going to use another Hourglass product. This is the Ambient Luminous Blush. And that's what she looks like. I am going to go in with a Laura Lee Los Angeles L14. It's a blush brush. So the way I put my blush is I like to start right here and I like to go up. Usually this is bright because I don't have anything on there, but there's bronzer there now. So this is how I do it. How some of my favorite YouTubers do it, and I get it because that's what you used to be told, you know, back in the day 10 years ago, is like smile and put your blush on. When in reality is you're not smiling the whole time, are you? No. So why would you change the shape of your face to put makeup on when the truth of the matter is that this is probably how you look like 90% of the time, and you don't look like this, you know? Does that make sense? This is something that Robert Welsh loves to talk about on his channel, on his educational beauty videos. Don't change the shape of your face when you are applying your makeup, because that's not how your face looks 90% of the time, you know? So if you're smiling, did go a little overboard on it, but I'm trying to prove a point. Okay, so this is how a lot of the YouTubers that I watch put on their blush. I am not saying this is 100% incorrect. I'm just saying this no longer works for me. My face is pretty round, and I feel that when I have my blush going all the way into pretty much my nose, because these are the apples of my cheek, I feel like this makes me look just even more round versus keeping this right here clear of any blush or contour or bronzer, and then starting that from here out. That's just what I prefer. I like the way it elongates my face when I do that. Right now, I am definitely not enjoying the shape that this makeup is leaving on me. All right, last but not least is highlighter. We're going to go into the Juvia's Place Volume 3 highlighter. This is a very pretty, like, champagne color. All right, so highlighter. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this one. In case you didn't know, highlighter is meant to highlight the points of your face that the light hits. So, since everyone has different face shapes, everyone has different areas where the light hits. The very common highlight position that I see with a lot of my favorite YouTubers is what they call the C. And that's just basically they do right here and then they wrap it around their eyebrows. So they go here and then bring it up and go right there. So this is typically what you see right there. I used to do this, guys. So like I said, I am not trying to show or throw shade at anyone because I used to do these things. This is how I used to do my makeup because this is how some of my favorite influencers and YouTubers did their makeup. And I want it to look exactly how they looked, and that's impossible because my face doesn't look like their face. So it's never gonna happen. And then they do like the exclamation point, where's my finger, on their nose where they dot the highlight, and then they do that line going down. Do you see it? It's like a little exclamation point. And then also the Cupid's bow. I do highlight my Cupid's bow, I just don't highlight it as much as I used to. And then some like to do the chin and some like to do their forehead. I don't do my forehead. I don't do any of this. I used to. Alright guys, and this is the final look. This is what my makeup would look like if I followed what some of my favorite YouTubers do. Like I said, I am in no way, shape, or form trying to throw shade at anyone. I just kind of want to get the point across that your skin changes, you know, your skin ages, and a lot of the times you really do need to change your makeup routine to how your skin is changing. For those of you who don't know, I am 33 years old. I know I look younger, right? Yes, but in my skin, you can definitely tell in certain places that I am over the age of 30. So for me personally, it doesn't make sense to follow the makeup routine of one of the beauty influencers that I watch that is, let's say, 10 years younger than I am. So 23, 24, 25. It just doesn't make sense because we have completely different skins. My skin is more mature than a 23, 24, 25-year-old. I did go in with my Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist, which is a very hydrating setting mist, but I still feel like my skin is very dry right now. Let me bring you in closer. Okay, so as you can see, please ignore my stash. I have not taken care of it. As you can see, you can definitely see lines My texture on my skin is very noticeable right now. See my nose, under my eyes, my forehead. You can definitely see up close exactly where I have those fine lines. And even though it's not a bad thing to have fine lines. It's definitely not a bad thing to have fine lines. I'm okay with my skin. I'm okay with it showing that I am 33 years old when you do look up close. I'm totally okay with that. You know, I have a skincare routine that I do in the morning and that I do at night. Like, I'm doing the preventative work that I need to do in order for my skin to be the best that I can be, and I am okay with my skin. This method of putting on my base just no longer works for me, 33-year-old me. Highlight does not belong on the temple of your face. It does not belong here. It does not belong here. This I would understand maybe for a photo shoot, if you really want to accentuate the highlight. Like, say you're selling a highlighter. Yes, I would understand that for a photo shoot. But for day to day, no, I can't. Let's see if I can show. Okay, so even though this does not look bad at all, I don't think it looks bad. It's just, you can really tell that I'm wearing a lot of makeup. A lot of makeup. Yeah, I would not walk out like this at all. I saw Robert Welch's video where he followed some, I think he said Instagram trends, some beauty trends that he just absolutely hates, and I thought it was super hilarious. And then I thought, okay, well, how can I do that but with my own twist? And I thought, oh, well, why don't I, you know, do my makeup like some of my favorite YouTubers and just show that everyone is different, and just because it works on one person, it doesn't mean it's going to work on you. And you should want to be unique anyways, you know? Do what works for you, not what works for somebody else. And that's the main point of this video. Play around with your makeup. Play around with the shape of your face. So yeah, alright guys. Well, I hope you loved this video. I would love it if you gave this video a big old thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family. We are slowly growing. I upload 3 times a week. Here and there, I might miss a day. I am pregnant, so sometimes that plays a factor in it. But I'm doing my best to do 3 videos a week, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I would love to have you, and I would love if you kept watching. Well, I will see you on the next video.